Good morning. Good morning, members, friends, and guests. My name is Ann Tomalacki, and I'm going to be the MC for today. I'm really happy to welcome you to Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Potsdam. Since 1967, we've been a warm and welcoming liberal community right here in Potsdam. Our founders poured their hearts, their resources, and their talents into creating this special place where we're meeting. And together we carry on their inspiring legacy. In their spirit, we continue their mission of nurturing spiritual journeys, embracing diversity, celebrating community, and turning values into action. If this is your first time here or your 101st time here, we're glad you are here. If you carry the weight of a weary world on your shoulders, or you enter through the doors with a song in your heart and a skip in your step, we're glad you're here. If you sing like an angel or mumble behind the hymnal like I do, we're glad you're here. The community is what it is because of your presence. So welcome to this space of love, support, justice, compassion, fellowship, and worship. We are glad you are here. Let's do our announcements, and then I'll introduce our guest speaker for the day. While we're waiting for our announcers to come up, I'd like to thank Emily for preparing the slides and getting things ready that way. For Rick, who is running our technology today, and Kay Price, who will be leading us in song, whether we mumble behind our hymnals or sing our hearts out. Okay. Oh, I read. I'm surprised.
This is surprised to see me here. Good morning, I'm Irene. I'm the social justice chair here today. And this is just your friendly reminder that we will be hosting our monthly social action circle in a social hall at a special designated table. We have a lot of really exciting announcements about you showing up loud and proud at the polls. I'm really, really happy about that. I've also just recently met with a lot of executives from nonprofits locally to organize a food drive. So we will have updates on that. And we are looking to organize other initiatives in the homelessness arena as well. So please join us. We have a lot of great topics and a lot of different initiatives. Thank you so much. Good service.
Thanks, Irene.
Hello, everyone. We have our first community concert circle meeting or occasion this Friday, which is the Three Feathers Opera, which is at the Westchester University Asplund Concert Hall, and tickets are free if you are 12 and under. So it's a great opportunity for young people to come experience opera. It is less than an hour and in English. So if you are a person who thinks you don't like opera, which is sometimes me, I'll be completely honest, this is probably a good taste test for you. And if you're not sure whether you can make it, I believe tickets are open seating. So even if you decide at the very last minute that you would like to come and join us, that's fine. You can buy tickets at the box office, so you don't have to purchase them in advance, and we can still all be together. I would just say to shoot me a quick email if you are interested, or come see me, just so we know to look out for you and say hi. We'll try to gather a few minutes in advance. I know a couple of people are joining me and my family, some of whom may or may not be coming willingly. My family, that is. But I'm looking forward to it again. I'm not a huge opera fan, but it's a way for me to broaden my own horizons and hopefully see some of you there as well.
Thank you very much. Any other announcements?
I'm Judith. So those of you who don't know, I volunteer for the Red Cross, and there's a program called Hot Shots that is available for anyone who wants free smoke detectors. We can kind of
Smoke what?
Smoke detectors, smoke alarms. All right, so in your homes, not businesses, but in your homes. It's available, and I can give you the phone number to call both in English and Spanish. And They're great. I was out on Friday, installing smoke detectors all day, and you'd be surprised, folks that are in their eighties don't even have a smoke detector in their homes. And so they're all at risk. So anybody who wants the number, see me, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Righty. Okay, so I would like to introduce our guest speaker today. I'm really excited.
Chalice lighting.
Well, she's gonna do the chalice lighting. Okay, we changed the order of service just a little bit. Rev Jo Green, who is with us from California through the miracle of Zoom. My sister met Joe when they were both studying at Star King School for Ministry in Berkeley, California. Joe has been our guest at Thanksgiving twice, and we even took her to Belsnickel the first year that she was here. Joe came to the ministry in 2008, as she says, late in life. But before being called to the ministry, she had a very interesting background. She started right out of college as an art teacher and then got her master's in counseling education. She's been a teacher, a counselor, an actor, a singer, an artist, a mediator, and an administrator before landing like a butterfly in UU ministry. Now, before Joe shares her sermon with us, she'll lead us in a few elements of the order of service. But when we were preparing for this service, we decided it would be a good idea to introduce her early because of that. So you wouldn't be wondering, who is she? Joe, I'll hand it over to you for your reading for the chalice lighting. We can't do the chalice via Zoom. So CJ has graciously volunteered or was voluntold to light the chalice for us. Joe, I know you.
Thank you. Our chalice lighting this morning is by Sean Gibson, entitled A Wild and Holy Vision. We light our chalice in the spirit of transformation. Nothing stays the same. Everything moving, shifting, changing. Guide us all to a wild and holy vision of our shared humanity. Amen.
Thank you, CJ. Now, before I tap the chime, I just want to ask everyone to put your phone in worship mode. If you go to your settings, you'll see a little airplane with a halo. So tap on that. Now, the chime allows us to come into the present and focus on the gift that is the present moment. So here we go. All right, Joe, there you are. Joe, over to you.
Thank you, Anne. Good morning, everyone, from the other side of the country. I am delighted to be with all of you on this beautiful autumn day. I hope it is beautiful there this morning. I bring you an affirmation of hope written by Loretta Williams. It is an aspiration for us to do what we can to make our world more of a paradise for everyone to live in. Entitled Affirmation of Hope. We, bearers of the dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead. Yet we know that in the struggle is the hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision of a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm siblinghood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes, ears, and hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Yet we are one in the image of God, and we celebrate our hopes for human unity. Within ourselves and within the gathered community, we will discover the strength not to hide in indifference, affirming that hope publicly expressed energizes and enables us to move forward. Together we pledge action to transcend barriers, be they racial, political, economic, social, or religious. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays. May it be so. Blessed be.
So don't include anyone. Okay. Hymn number 1053, How Could Anyone? Next, we have a story for all ages. So whatever age you are, come on up front. Joe has a really nice story for you. Joe, it's all yours.
Oh, thank you, Anne. This morning we have a story written by Amanda Gorman. It's called Something Someday. You are told that this is not a problem, but you're sure there's something wrong. You are told that this cannot be fixed, but you know that you can help. You are told that this is too big for you, but you've seen the tiniest things make a huge difference. You are told that this won't work, but how will you know if you never try? You're told to sit and wait, but you know people have already waited too long. You're told that what's going on is very, very sad, but you're not just sad, you're scared and confused. You're angry. And maybe, just maybe, a little hopeful. You're told not to hope, but you keep hoping anyway. Sometimes you feel like you're all alone, but someday, somewhere, you find a friend, someone who will hope with you, who believes in your dream, someone who will fight with you. You make a promise to each other. You say, there is a problem, but it's our problem together, so we can fix it together. This problem is big, but together we are bigger. You make another friend and tell them it's okay to be sad. And they tell you sometimes we'll lose, but that's all right. We'll try again. And so you do, together, working together, beginning over and over and over and over, until you're no longer beginning, you're winning. Suddenly there's something you're sure is right, something you know you helped fix, something small that changed, something big, something that worked, something that makes you feel hopeful, happy, and loved. Something that is not a dream, but the day you live in. Something that makes you smile as you tell someone else. And I'm hoping you could tell from that story that they took an empty lot that had a lot of garbage and stuff in it, and they planted flowers and plants and made it pretty again. And they did it because they did it all together. Thank you for listening.
Rick? I'm up next. Okay, all right. That story, you heard Joe say that it was written by Amanda Gorman. You might remember that she was the very poised young woman who spoke at Joe Biden's inauguration. So beautiful story, beautiful woman. Okay, so the reading that I'll do, this is a recent story that most of us know. And I found horrifying, and you probably did too. This is from the Altea website, ALTEI, but it was on a lot of websites. All right, so Josh Shapiro and Stephen Colbert had a talk about prayer after the governor and his family survived a fire set at the governor's mansion. You probably remember that. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro appeared on Late Night with Stephen Colbert, back when he was still on, to discuss a wide variety of topics, including the April 13th arson attack on his home residence, the governor's mansion in Harrisburg, in which he and his family were targeted. Fortunately, Shapiro, his wife, and their 4 children escaped the flames unharmed, and the arsonist remains in custody. In the touching exchange between Shapiro, the 3rd Jewish governor of Pennsylvania, and Colbert, a Catholic, Shapiro shared how important and powerful the prayers of many were in the days and weeks following the traumatic attack, that left the governor's mansion with extensive damage. The crime was particularly insidious because it came hours after Shapiro had celebrated a Passover Seder with friends and family. I felt all of your prayers, Shapiro told Colbert. They gave me strength. I'm convinced that prayer is universal. Shapiro, I hope I can get through this. Shapiro went on to describe a beautiful scene in which he and his family hosted a dinner in order to thank the firefighters for their heroism. After the meal, an 82-year-old fire chaplain presented him with a written prayer. And that moment is one that is still sending shivers. The prayer given to Shapiro by the elderly firefighter is the same priestly blessing that Shapiro and his wife have said to their children every night. It comes from the Old Testament book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24 through 27. Here it is. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. All right, now it's time for the offering. Giving is not a duty, it is an invitation. An invitation to invest in the life of this community, to nurture its spirit, and to carry its mission forward. We now receive the offering with open hands and open hearts. If you are here for the first time or the 100th time, the offering is just that. It's not a fee, it's not dues, it's just whatever you want it to be. We're just glad you're here with us. Before I pass the chalice to Joe, well, go ahead with the offertory. I'll wait until this is done. Right, before I pass the chalice to Joe, I just want to tell you a quick story that will give you the essence of Joe. My sister and I were delighted to be part of Joe's ordination, which was in Germantown, Philadelphia. When the officiant asked Joe Green, are you ready to be ordained into the Unitarian Universalist ministry? Instead of answering, yes, I am, which is what I probably would do, Joe said, I am. So I have a question for you. Are you ready to experience Rev Joe's sermon? All right, there you go. Joe, over to you. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Anne. That was lovely. So, I've been using the word grumpy a lot lately. I'm feeling grumpy, and when I feel grumpy, I don't always make the wisest choices. Most humans don't deal with change easily, and lately in our modern age, we have all been experiencing change almost like never before. The other day, I saw the example of a working robot that we can buy for $20,000. Like most of us can afford a $20,000 robot. And it scared me. That was my first feeling. It scared me. I thought to myself, I don't want to live in a Jetson world where we have driverless cars and robots doing our chores. That has always felt like something that would happen in the future, not in my time. Not now. There are too many other issues we need to deal with in our world, and that all seems frivolous and elitist. I feel that I am consistently working to acquire peace and contentment within these trying times. So, how do we do that? Something that has struck with me, just like the author in the reading Anne provided, is Governor Shapiro's words. I felt all of your prayers. That during a time of the destruction of his home, the violence perpetrated on his family and friends there, the terror of someone wanting to physically destroy you, out of that, he says, I feel all of your prayers. That is hope. If that is not hope, I don't know what is. This event happened over 7 months ago, and the tide, interestingly enough, seems to be turning. The hateful rhetoric that I was hearing and seeing on social media for so long has turned somewhat to an anticipation of a new way and a glow of hope that didn't seem to be there before. We are still living amongst mass shootings in our country. Don't get me wrong. All is still not right with the world. Yet I feel a new hope, a new beginning, a new reverberation of a new way of being in our country. That is what I call hope. Not since President Obama's campaign in 2008 have I felt this resurgence of hope and change. Our country has been through a lot the last couple of decades, and we are all tired and very, very weary. So how can we bring about more hope and contentment within ourselves and enjoy the lives we have here on earth? What can we do to bring about more joy and serenity in our lives when it feels like all around us is chaos, disarray, and confusion? Governor Shapiro's solution is prayer. As Unitarian Universalists, do we utilize prayer? Some of us do, and some of us don't. And as an inclusive and accepting faith tradition, we allow those members to honor prayer within their own credo. I am one that does utilize prayer. I still to this day bend down on my knees every night before sleeping and say a prayer of gratitude. I also write a short page of gratitudes each night on whatever happened that day. I can then go to sleep with peace of mind and some contentment, no matter what occurred that day or didn't happen. And to really put me in a good mood before sleeping, I usually watch an episode or two of The Big Bang Theory. It does my heart good. I have told a particular story a couple of times in my past on what prayer has meant to me. I took a class when in seminary at Star King School for the Ministry on prayer one semester. In the course of completing this class, we examined many different types of prayer, their meanings within their respective belief systems, and what they could mean to each of us. In relaying this story in class, they told me, oh, this is a type of prayer. So here is my story. I was in the 3rd grade, and my friend Barbara was moving to Highland, Illinois. It was only 30 miles away, but to an 8-year-old, that was gone forever. I just knew I'd never see her again. So we decided to become pen pals. We would write to each other every day, or so we thought, and keep each other apprised of our lives. We did that. And when she moved, she described her new house to me and her room, and I did the same. as she had never been to my house before she moved. So I told her about the yellow walls I had and the white curtains and the toys in the corner. I never thought she'd see it, so I embellished a bit and made it sound wonderful. Well, she did see it one day. She wrote me that she was coming for a visit. I was excited and terrified at the same time, for I had embellished a bit on what my room looked like. See, I slept in the dining room of our little one-bedroom house with my brother on the other wall sleeping on a divan, what they used to have. My parents had the only bedroom in the house. My bed was a window seat where in the summer I could lay my head on the windowsill and stare up at the sky and see the stars. So when she arrived that day and asked to see my room, I had to tell her, "You're standing in it." These were my yellow walls and white curtains and my toys in the corner of the dining room. And I was mortified that she had to see this. I know she thought I had my own room. I had carefully misled her in my letters. I never thought she'd see the actual room, but she did. And as I showed her my toys in the corner, she wanted to play, and for her, all was forgotten, and this was my room. But for me, it was a deeper experience. I saw that I needed to own what I had and be proud that I had it. That it wasn't my room she came to see, but me. It didn't matter as much to her as it did to me that I didn't have a bedroom like other little girls I knew or saw on TV. I learned to always tell the truth, and it would hurt less. And I also learned so deeply how important it was to be me, and that my attitude and temperament was not determined by what others thought of me, that it wasn't what I had, but who I was that was most important. We moved a few years later, and when I was 14, I got my own room, my very own room. I got to decorate it how I wanted. My parents got me blue carpeting, my favorite color, and my dad put up blonde paneling on the walls, and I had all my stuffed animals on my bed. Being on the second floor, I could stare out the window and look down the street. And most days and nights, it was quiet. It was lovely. I was so proud to have my own room. I had a place to be. I had a place to be me. And I made my bed every single day. I was so proud to have my own room. In class, I discovered from the professor and my classmates that that indeed was a form of prayer, making my bed. I am so grateful for a bed that every day when I arise after feeding the cat and dog, of course, and making coffee, of course, I do have my priorities, I then make my bed. Now that I'm retired, I do sometimes go back to bed to read my book club's latest book. And when I am again arising, I make my bed. Even after my hip replacement 3 years ago, I still made my bed every morning. It is that important to me. I feel incomplete if I don't. So prayer can come in many forms. It can be in how you see yourself. It can be in the gratitude you have for family or friends or the life you are leading. Prayer can put me in a good mood. It can help me sometimes to gain courage, to look at the positive in life no matter what is happening, and help me see solutions where I didn't see them before. The one thing, though, that thoughts and prayers does not seem to do is to stop gun violence, is to stop discrimination, is to keep our trans friends and family safe. It helps me to put me in a state of mind where I don't feel trapped, where I don't feel angry, where I don't feel in danger. What prayer can also do is clear my mind for more solutions to evolve. After I moved into my room, it was during the Vietnam War, and I became an activist. Prayer has helped me to organize my mind and my emotions, has offered me another way to see a situation, has given me courage to change the things I can when before it didn't seem possible. For us to be fully alive, we must be present, and when we are, we resist hate in ourselves and in the world around us, says Caitlin B. Curtis. Caitlin is a member of the indigenous peoples of the Potawatomi Nation and is a poet and storyteller. I love that quote. I'll say it again. For us to be fully alive, we must be present. And when we are, we resist hate in ourselves and in the world around us. Unquote. We've been told so many times to live in the present, and that seems very hard for a lot of us to do. Living in the present gives us the opportunity to act. Thoughts and prayers might work for some, but I believe it just keeps the status quo, especially with gun violence. For that, we need laws, and we need those in power to have the courage and the presence of mind to enact them. This is where prayer does not actually change our world. It might give each of us solace. It might bring us back individually into the present and then give us the courage to change those things we need to change. Prayer itself, at least I would argue, does not change a lot of things in our world. What it can do is influence our state of mind so that we have the means to make change happen. Another quote I love is from our former president, Barack Obama. Quote, "Change is brought about because ordinary people do extraordinary things." Unquote. And I believe, at least for me, that prayer helps me to gain that courage to do extraordinary things where I never thought I could. When tragedy strikes, we see people, ordinary citizens, step up and aid others, protect others, be there for their fellow citizens. We are seeing this in Los Angeles right now. I have to say, it is very scary to see armed men in tactical gear roaming the streets of our city. And I am seeing ordinary citizens step up to help and protect those more vulnerable. Channels have opened up to give warnings to immigrants in our city, tracking when and where ICE cars and trucks are appearing to give them a chance to leave or hide. Cards have been made up to give direction to immigrants that give responses and directions on what to say and to ask for an attorney. Clergy in our county are accompanying immigrants to their hearings so that they can help protect them, just to get into the courthouse and follow the law. There is a tremendous amount of turmoil in our nation right now, and also a tremendous amount of resistance. We in California are so thrilled with the outcome of our Prop 50 election this week. The only thing on the ballot was Proposition 50. No one anywhere in the state was voting for anything else. It's not a year we have elections. And yet we had a turnout rivaling presidential election years. Our state here wants its country back, and people are showing up to save it. To me, this too is prayer. When someone puts themselves out there to help a fellow human being, to me, that is prayer. When someone gives food to one of the 42 million people not receiving their SNAP benefits right now, that is prayer. When someone goes out of their way to help in some way another human being, that is indeed prayer. For some, prayer is like meditation. For some, prayer is like giving service. For some, prayer is shining a light on an injustice and working towards rectifying it. Making my bed every morning is indeed prayer for me. It is calming, predictable, and actually sacred. We all have our definitions of prayer. And to me, it especially shows that I see prayer when I see another human being or myself step out of our comfort zones to do that which needs to be done. St. Francis of Assisi is quoted as saying, quote, "Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take nothing of what you have received, but only what you have given. A heart full, enriched by honest service, love, sacrifice, and courage." Unquote. May we all leave this earth after doing all of those things. May it be so. Blessed be.
Thank you very much, Joe. I have started to, believe it or not, pray for Trump. But I realize courage to change the things I cannot change him, but I just kind of lift him up. And yeah, so thank you. All right, we are closing him in 10:31. May you be filled with loving kindness. Now it's time to. Jump at the bell now. Easy to carry out. And Joe, you have some closing words for us?
Yes, thank you all for bringing me into your Zoom this morning. And what I have is a benediction by Gary Kowalski, which I feel just really addresses a lot of what I've spoken about today and hopefully how we can enrich our world. Gathered in our varied faiths, we give thanks for the blessings of world community. As we share our common dream, homes and schools where children thrive, neighborhoods that are safe and clean, a city rich in colors and cultures, an economy where no one is expendable, a beloved community where rich and poor alike have access to the opportunity for a dignified and productive life. Churches, mosques, synagogues, and temples, where our deepest hope is to be of service to a hurting world. Enable us as we leave this place to carry forth this prayer into the coming week, turning our thoughts toward charity, our hearts toward justice, and our hands toward the work of peace. Shalom. Amen. Amen. May it be so. Blessed be. Thank you all for receiving me here this morning.
So thank you so much for being with us today. I know we enjoyed having you, and we hope that you enjoyed being with us too. Those of us who are here in person, please join us for refreshments, or as my sister calls it, Unitarian Communion. It's in our social hall. And until we meet again, stay sunny, go in peace. Namaste, shalom, amen, and blessed be. All right. Toodaloo. Thanks, Gail. Just so good to see you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.